In the following scenario, I had a specific client which had the following data in an Excel spreadsheet. I'm selecting the data. It is this section here. So what we have is we have the sales per month. On the side you have specific countries, some regional codes, sales numbers on the inside. At the top we have months. Now some of the countries will have for the same month more than one entry. For example, Italy has got for month 1 3 specific entries. So my client wanted to analyze this data. So what the client wanted was an analysis per country. So this was a variable, per region, another variable, per month, another variable. So we were looking at 3 different analyses. We were looking at a country analysis, a regional code analysis, and a month analysis. If you look at the data as it is on screen at the moment, it would be a massive task to use formulas to specify or get the results the client was looking for. Now what I suggest you do is, first of all, is take the original data that you have on screen here and somehow convert it to the format on the right hand side. Now what is the difference? The difference is for each of the variables you want to use to analyze, you have to have a column. So if you are going to analyze per country, you need a country column. If you have a regional analysis, you'll have a regional column. Same with months, and then obviously your sales figures here. So you have to take all of the data on the left hand side and somehow convert it to the format on the right hand side. Now you're more than welcome to type it in manually, but that would absolutely be a waste of time and will also be unrealistic if you've got a large data set. Now the first thing I would suggest is, or it's a two-way process. First of all, we're going to take the data on the left and convert it to data on the right hand side so that the client in future can enter data in these specific columns. No more data entry in the format on the left. It should be per column on the right hand side. So we're first going to convert the original data into this format, and once we have this format, we will allow the client to then add data and then eventually use a pivot table to analyze the data. So how am I going to convert the data on the left hand side that it actually looks like the data on the right hand side? I'm going to use the Power Query tool. The first thing I would like to do is to replace these numbers with actual month names so that they end up in the same format as, for example, January, February, March in this column. Because in Power Query it's quite tricky to convert these numbers to months unless you know some coding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, this was January. Let's see if we copy that across. And we've got the months across. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this data on the left hand side, click anywhere inside. I'm going to go to data. I'm going to say from table or range. It will pick up the range of data. Yes, I have headers. I confirm with OK. It will now open my Power Query tool. So what I'm going to do here is I will have to unpivot the data. So what it means is I need to get an entry for Italy and one for January, for Italy and one for February, for Italy, for one for March. So what I need to do is I'm going to select the columns, click the first one, hold my shift in, click the last one. Then I'm going to just want to make the screen a little smaller that we can see all the menu options. There we go. Just drag it a little bit down, drag it to the left hand side. So as you can see, I'm working inside Power Query. I've selected those columns. I go to transform and I say unpivot the columns. And there I have the data. With 2 clicks, I have the data in the exact format that I needed in Excel to use it in a pivot table. That's all I needed to do. You can see I've got country, I've got the region code, I've got the months, I've got the values for each of those combinations. At this stage, I'm just going to double click in the attribute column and just replace that with month. What I need to do now is I need to export this data back into Excel itself. So I'm going home, I'm going to close and load, I'm going to select the first option, close and load. This will create a new sheet in Excel. You can see at the bottom, and there's the data in the perfect format that I want to use it. But remember I said this is just the first step. If you already have data, this is the first step to just get your original data in the correct format. You do not use this table to add data to the bottom. This is just a result of the original Power Query. So what I suggest you do is you copy all of this data. So I go Control C for copy. Go to a new sheet, and let's call this sheet working data. I'm going to click anywhere, I'm going to right mouse click, I'm going to paste special, and I'm going to go value. And this is where you will now in future add data to the bottom. You will not go back to the original and add data here and carry on in the old fashion. This is now your working data. That was just a once-off step to get the data that you already have into the correct format. Now you'll see this is exactly what I was looking for. A country column, because I'm going to analyze the data per country. I'm going to analyze the data per region. I'm going to analyze the data per month for the sales. The value, I might as well replace that with sales. And what I will do now is I will select this data and I will go insert and I will go pivot table from table or range. It selects that data. Go to new worksheet and OK. And now on the right hand side I have those headers, and it is now very easy to analyze the data. I will put my sales values in the value section, and on the side of the screen you can see how it's starting to analyze my data. I can now say I want to see this per country, or I want to see this per month per country. Now you might say, but that looks like the original. Yes, it looks very much like the original, but it's all summarized. That it's the total of France, the total of Italy, the total of Spain. You can move this around. You might say, okay, give it to me like this: France, Italy, Spain. You can remove months out of the scenario if you want to. And let's remove country as well, and let's say I want to see this per region. So region 1, I want to see region per month. You can drop month into there. You can switch it around. You can say, okay, I want the months there, but I want the regions at the top. So now you can do all sorts of analysis on your data and not using the original format, which was impossible to analyze. Okay, I hope that helps, and keep me posted.